Get a dog to prepare yourself for kids.
Uh-huh.
Get a cat to prepare yourself for teenagers.
Oh, really?
So cats are more.
Welcome again. Let's begin with sitting meditation, please. Finding our posture, feet firmly planted. Take a couple of deep cleansing breaths in and a long out. And just breathe normally. Feel each in-breath and each out-breath. Wherever you feel the breath, just say to yourself gently, in, out. Or rising, falling. Just noticing each breath one at a time. And when something else takes our attention, we notice it. Oh, thinking. That's okay. Let that go and come back to the next breath. Maybe it's a sensation in the body. I feel tired, a little sleepy. Okay, just notice that. And breathe. Memories of your day may be coming. Things you did, things you forgot to do. That's okay. That's normal for them to come up, but right now we're going to just let them go and notice each breath. It's so healing just to let our mind rest. Each in-breath is energizing. Each out-breath is relaxing. A balance. Alert, noticing each moment. And relax, letting the moment pass. Each moment could bring a new surprise. Thank you. Here we are in week 3. We started sharing a little bit about how we've been doing. Any other things you'd like to talk about your practice in the past week?
It's hard.
It's hard, okay? In what way?
Thinking about the breath, and not thinking of anything.
Yes. Simple
Very
but
hard.
hard, yes.
Yeah.
Concentration is hard.
I found that the beginning was difficult, but the more I just stayed with it, the better it got.
I found myself throughout the day thinking, okay, Paulina, this is what you're doing. This is where I am at this moment. Whether it was like brushing my teeth,
Mm-hmm.
I paid attention walking down the steps, how my
Mhm.
knees and my feet all worked, and stuff. There was another time too. Oh, I hate the kitchen. I hate cooking. I do cook, but I don't care for it. Give me a book and I'll read a book. But when I was doing it, then I thought, okay, now Paulina, you're gonna in the kitchen now. You're gonna enjoy this. You're going to read that. And it really did work. It wasn't. But then when that hour and 15 minutes came, then it was like, okay, I want to get the heck out of here. There I am again.
I love it.
I think what you're saying though, like, it was like being mindful, you said, of what you're doing to try to enrich what you're doing and how you're walking or whatever.
Mhm.
I don't think I've found my place yet. So I've been different place trying like snippets of, cause I don't find just the one place.
You have
Or
a
the
time?
Hmm?
You have a time?
Well, I'm still at the snippets because it would be like, okay, I wake up in the morning and the sun is coming through the trees and it's just like, this is my time, right? Then if it's cloudy, I don't want the sun. And it's on limit, a little bit fussy. So, then I'm trying a different window, So I haven't found my place, but I'm trying, so it's like, just like snippets, like maybe 2 minutes at a time, and then that, but I'm sure it's gonna come better. I'm trying to positively tell myself it's gonna come better.
Snippets, I like that.
I think for me, it was setting aside a time, that's really important. And then I'm more serious about it then, you know what I mean, I think, cause I tried it in the morning too, and that worked for me. But I have to tell myself, okay, now I'm getting up and I'm gonna do this, and
Good.
once I'm sitting here, it's fine, but
Uh-huh.
It's making yourself sit there because everything else. I don't even have kids at home, and yet things clamor to get done. I don't know why that is.
We have so many habits, and if we can build this into a good habit, at this time I'm gonna do this, and it just comes. I think it's getting warmer, is that what the sound is?
Yes.
Yes, I think so, yes.
Good. So, last week we began week 2 in the book, which is about awareness of the body, and we did the body scan, right? So we've got 3 more body awareness practices to do tonight: the walking meditation, some simple yoga, or what I call mindful stretching, and an eating meditation.
That might trigger me.
Probably be a good
So remember that we'd like to have a focus, for instance, the breath, of our concentration, or a thing we said, this is what I'm gonna pay attention to during this time. And then when we notice our attention has wandered, that's mindfulness. We realize, oh, wandered, not breath, come back to it. And this is, these body practices are a different focus. Instead of the breath, we're using awareness of the body. And in a way, they tend to be easier because they're active. They're not just sitting here noticing the breath. So they're great practices. Did some of you try the body scan this past week? A good one to try to help fall asleep if you want to do that.
Yeah.
So I'd like to start with this mindful stretching, what I call easy yoga. And I have a handout for it that goes through the poses at the end, later in class. So this is a standing practice, so please stand behind your chair. I'm going to remove these two chairs so we have a little more room. And it's kind of nice to stand behind your chair because some of them involve some balance and have a little something to support you. You want to have enough room so you can stretch your arms out, and we've got plenty of room here. And so you're not hitting the wall and back or the chair, just so you can move your arms. And these are very simple, once again. What's more important is not how well you do it, it's how you pay attention. So we begin by just standing and feeling our body standing, and let our arms hang down. Just feel how this feels to stand. We have our eyes open generally during this. You can close them, but for some of them, you might need them open. And breathe. We begin by just swinging our arms back and forth. Notice how it feels. Notice your shoulders. Notice if your elbows and your clothing rub. And make the arc a little bit bigger. Bigger. Feel the breeze. And relax. Some of these are a little bit silly. Bring our weight to our right foot and bring our arms up and down. Bear the weight on the left foot, arms up and down. Same thing, right foot, and just toe touch with the left foot. Balance on the right. Feel the stretch, feel the balance, breathe. And down. Same thing on the left side. Feel the balance. Feel the weight on the left foot. Breathe. And down. Bring the arms up. palms together, stretch up. Breathe, feel the stretch. Bend to the right. Breathe. Back to center. Bend to the left. Breathe and feel the stretch. Feel the palms touching each other. Feel the weight shift in your feet. Back up. Prayer position and down. Stretch the shoulders, shoulders up on an in-breath and down on an out-breath. Shoulders up. Feel the stretch and down. Shoulders up. Keep them up. Take a breath. And down. Shoulders back on an in-breath. Together on an out-breath. Back. Together. Back. And relax. Bend our neck down, chin toward the chest. And let our neck bend toward the right side. Feel the stretch. Feel it in the right side of your neck. Feel it in the left. Feel it inside. And breathe. Back to center. Bend to the left. Feel the stretch. And forward and relax. It's just standing. We're going to balance again on the right foot, arms up. Feel the balance. Bring your left foot up off the floor if you can, and just balance. Feel the balance, feel the imbalance. As it happens, if you think more about your arms instead of your legs, you can do it better. And balance on the left side. So just do what you can. Don't, if you can't balance, that's okay. Listen to your body. And down. This next one is called the sumo pose. Hands on hips. Put your feet apart a little bit and point the toes out. On an in-breath, squat. And breathe. And an out-breath, come back up. Good, same thing again. Down. Breathe. And up. And again. One more. Feel the stretch. Where do you feel it? And up. Keep hands on hips. Feet shoulder width apart, parallel. Turn our body to the right. And back to center. Turn to the left. back to center. Turn to the right. On an in-breath, turn a little bit more. And breathe. And again, a little more. Feel the stretch. And back to center. Turn to the left. And breathe. A little bit more. A little bit more. Feel the stretch. And relax. Now twist, leaving the arms loose. Back and forth. This is a silly one. A little bit more. Just let them swing. Let those arms swing. Oh, where do you feel it? Oh, and come back to rest. This is called waterfall or scarecrow. We're going to just let our body gradually slump. So start with the neck down. If you feel lightheaded, just come back to standing and just gradually slump down forward. Feel your back bending, feel your shoulders relaxing, gradually like a rag doll, just slumping down. Let the knees relax a little bit, bend a little bit, and just let it, as you breathe, just let your body sag all the way down. And breathe. And as we come up, breathe. Notice the back straightening. And stand. One more balance pose. Tree pose. Hands on hips. Weight on the right foot. Bring the left heel to the right ankle and bending the foot at a 90-degree angle. So we've got our weight on the right foot. The left foot is there to balance. Just feel that balance. Now bring our hands up, palms together. Stretch up like a tree and breathe. And if you'd like, you can try lifting up that left foot off the ground. Stretch and breathe. And down in the prayer position, foot back on the ground. And stand. Hands on hips. Right heel on the left ankle at a 90-degree angle. Doing great. Bring the hands up, palms together. Stretch. Feel that tree. And breathe. And if you like, bring that right foot up. Bring it up as far as the knee, not beyond that. And down. And stand. And feel what it feels like. What does the body feel like right now standing? Let those shoulders relax and breathe. Great, have a seat. Do any of you do yoga or have done yoga? Yes, good. So this is very easy yoga,
Yes.
very easy. What do you think? Helpful?
Yes, I liked it.
Me too.
I find this is great. First thing before I do my sitting, it helps both my mind and body to wake up. So it's a good practice. And you know, some of these, like the shoulders or the neck, any time of the day you can just do that. So just remind yourself, oh, this is a meditation right now, just moving like that and breathing and noticing it. There's also some lying down poses that are in the handout. We might, maybe someday we'll do those, but that's all right, not today. So, mindful stretching or easy yoga. The next one is walking meditation, and yes, many of us really like this. At home, it's best, and Sharon describes this, I think you walk back and forth. You find an area where you can take at least 10 paces, and you walk, and you stop, and turn around, and walk back. In this setting, I like to do it in a circle, so let's stand behind our chairs again. Maybe move the chairs in just a little bit on the corner. And let's turn to the right. So we're going to start off walking at a normal pace, and we're going to feel each step, and you might say to yourself, left, right, and say it with, not when you're going to step, say it when you do step. So it's not about the intent to take a step, it's about the feeling. Notice the feeling of taking a step. You can let your arms hang down, or you can have them behind you or in front of you. Just choose a position. Feel your body standing. We have to be a little mindful of where we each are, so we have to sort of keep a common pace and just don't bump into each other, and just notice that. So you need to have your eyes open for this practice. You can begin with either foot and begin just walking and say to yourself, step, step, or right, left. Feel the sensation of the foot touching the ground. Right, left, right, left. Just a normal, nice normal little pace, just walking. Feel the heel strike, feel the toe strike, feel each step. And be aware of your breath as well. But mainly, we're just paying attention to each step. Just a normal little walking, slow walking pace. Very nice. And we're aware of our surroundings, of course, but right now, this is what's called formal walking meditation. We're paying attention to the sensation of each step. Now let's slow it down a little bit. Now we're going to divide it into two parts. We're going to notice lifting, planting, lifting, planting. Notice each step, lifting, planting. And start the next step after the last one's completed. Lifting, planting, lifting, planting. Coordinate your breathing with it. Maybe take an in-breath with one step and an out-breath with the other one. Lifting, planting, lifting, planting. Just gazing down, a few steps ahead of us. Now we're gonna slow it down even more, really slow. This is where we tend to lose our balance, so be aware of that. See if you can break it into 4 steps. Lifting, moving, planting, shifting. Lifting, moving, planting, shifting the weight. Just say that very quietly to yourself. Lifting, moving, planting, shifting. Just feeling each step. Maybe don't get too attached to the words, just notice. If your thoughts wander, come back to the next step. And stop. And breathe. And come back to our seats. So that's what we call formal walking meditation. It's very slow, very concentrated. If you go on retreat, you'll have periods of sitting. Maybe you'll sit for 30 minutes, then you'll get up and walk for 20 minutes, then sit for 20 minutes. It kind of breaks it up. It is a formal meditation like this breathing, but it's focusing on the steps. What was your experience with it?
Go ahead.
Marching. That's all I
Marching.
could think of.
Yes, okay, that's all right. It's like marching, yes.
I felt it very calming,
Uh-huh.
very,
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yes.
I took my shoes off because I have the wrong shoes on to go and do that, so.
You could feel the floor.
So, yeah, so that felt good though.
Yeah, good. You notice sometimes a different part of your feet,
Mhm.
as it
So
touches.
heel side.
So this is very good if, let's say you're doing your sitting meditation and your thoughts are just going a mile a minute. So this is good then to say, oh, I'm just gonna walk for a bit. It kind of brings the level down a little bit. Or it's equally good if you're falling asleep, you're too groggy. Oh, I'm gonna get up and walk a little bit. It kind of may give you more energy. So it's a nice balance with the sitting. Then there's the informal walking meditation, which means you go for a walk and you notice things. You notice your steps, you notice your surroundings, notice the colors, notice the breeze on your face, notice the birds, whatever. And just say to yourself, while I'm walking right now, I'm gonna pay attention. And after a few minutes, you notice, oh, I'm planning what I'm gonna do the rest of the day. And you say, oh, planning, come back to being aware of what's happening right now. So it's a great informal mindfulness practice.
When you meditate, can you meditate a whole 20 minutes without your mind wandering very often?
Oh, no, my mind wanders, yes.
Oh,
And, sometimes I get really frustrated. I say, why can't I do this? And then I say to myself, it's normal, let it be. And so most of the time I say, oh, and I come up with these great ideas, you know? Oh, wow, and I got to stay on that for a while. And then I notice, oh, I'm planning the next class. Good, that's fine.
See? Yeah.
And I say to myself, later, I'll come back to it later. Right now, I'm on the breath, so yeah, all the
Okay.
time.
Okay. So that's kind of part of meditation, is this constant bringing yourself back,
That's right.
you know, because you're becoming aware that, oh yeah, I'm not here now, I'm doing that, but I gotta be here,
That's
okay,
right, that's right.
yeah.
And some days are more than others, you know, yeah. Mhm. Very good. You're wonderful, you're great. Well, eating meditation.
Ooh, oh, all right. I'm just kidding, chew it. Boy, this tastes good.
So, is anyone allergic to peanuts? No? Good. So, it's kind of traditional, and I always used to do this with a raisin, but in honor of my wife Jan, now I do it with M&Ms. So I'm gonna give you instructions, and you can have your eyes open and just have one hand out to receive an item. And just don't do anything with it, just let it sit there. And so this is just about taking our time to notice. So we're going to begin by looking at it. Notice the color. Notice the shape. Notice how the light reflects off of it. Feel its weight, not very much, but you can feel it touching your skin, right? Just taking our time to notice it. Now we can manipulate it with our fingers, roll it around a little bit, see how that feels. The fingers have such great sensation. Notice the shape. Maybe the hardness. Maybe the slight stickiness. And just notice these things and maybe name them briefly. Okay, hold it between two fingers. Look at it. And very deliberately place it in your mouth, on your tongue, and feel it. Roll it around a little bit. Hear it bumping against your teeth. Feel the saliva coming. Begin to notice the flavor of the coating. Sweetness. What part of your mouth and tongue tastes it? And just let it sit in your mouth for a minute. Soon you start to notice the candy coating is melting. Notice that. Little pieces of candy coating. Oh, chocolate. Notice how do you feel about it? Pleasant, unpleasant? just letting it roll around, tasting it in your mouth. Getting down to the peanut. How does that feel? Roll that around. Notice the swallowing. Now you can chew the peanut. Notice the crunch, notice the flavor. See if you can notice it as you swallow it and as it goes down. Lick your lips. How do we feel about eating meditation?
Too slow.
That's very slow.
The slowest I've ever eaten.
Yeah, that's right.
I think I'd have the bag down already. Without actually taking in the taste and the sensation of it, I guess, yeah, that's
Yeah.
We
that's really,
inhale.
yes, we do.
Yeah.
So this is very exaggerated slowness, but if you think about it, why do we eat so fast, right? I think I'm eating by myself in the morning, a bowl of cereal, I have all day, I'm no rush, and whoop, whoop, oh, why am I rushing? And I notice that, and I say, okay, slow down, notice each bite, notice the taste, notice the texture, and each little moment becomes special. You know, just eating something simple like a bowl of cereal, wow, it's just neat if you pay attention. That's why it's called Real Happiness, this book. Simple little things like that make us happy, I think. So you can have another one and you can eat this any way you want.
Maybe I'll want a third one, cause I didn't get the first and the second one right.
Well, maybe. Yeah, good excuse, yeah, I like that one.
It's funny, we both put it right in our mouth, and we had to go through.
Go ahead, any way you want, go ahead.
But that's our normal one.
Put it in her mouth.
I
Yeah.
did, it's, yeah, me too, yeah, but that's our normal.
That's right.
We don't look at
No,
it.
that's
No,
We said we could eat it. Yeah.
yeah,
I like this a lot better than a raisin. Raisins are pretty cool, they have a lot of texture and stuff, but they dry out. So thanks, Jan, for the M&Ms.
Nice. It's tasty.
When I went with Jan to Las Vegas, we had to go to the M&M store.
I think if we were more mindful of eating, we'd really enjoy what we're eating more.
we might eat less. I mean,
Well,
really stop and think about it, right?
That's true.
yeah.
Yeah.
And there is a class, mindful eating, that's a weight reduction class.
Really?
Mhm.
So I think this meditation is hard, that mindful eating, that would really be hard for me.
Well, you did mindful cooking, so you're getting
I'm getting there.
So last week we did the body scan, this week we did yoga, walking, and eating. So these are all, aware of our body is another tool to build mindfulness. So very good, keep it up and see what works best for you. So next week is, to me, that has the best stuff in it. So read the week 3. It's up to page 143. I think it's entitled Awareness of Emotions.
Oh,
So there's a lot of it's stuff in there. And there'll be a lot of little hints I'll have for you in there. So next week, week 4 in our class, gonna be more, not only aware of emotions, but thoughts and how to notice them better. So next week, please don't miss, if you can't help it. And I thank you when you can come for texting me or emailing me, that's really helpful. Also, keep up with your regular practice as much as possible. And are any of you doing some journaling? Are you writing down some of your thoughts? That's good if you want to.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you go in a streak. If you have, maybe get a little book. They say, oh, this is my meditation journal. Just so it's ready in case you think of something, all right? Then you can write stuff down. Or if you just have a diary, write it in there. One thing that helps is, if there's a thought that keeps coming back, if you write it down, then you don't have to keep thinking about it as much.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Yes.
So that's one way, but that's a good meditation practice too. So very good.
do you stop the meditation and write it down, or do you wait till you're done and then write it down?
Good question. It's okay to keep your journal next to you and write it down, but generally I would say wait. Generally I'd say wait. So you've got a thought, great idea, and you say to yourself later. It'll still be there.
Mhm.
It'll still be there, so it's better to wait. I have one handout for you today. Oh, more than one, because I have one from last week. So you got the body scan handout, right?
Yes.
Last week, right?
Last week. So, this one is the yoga poses.
Wow, yeah.
So let's see, did I do all of them? Standing, warming up, swing arms, reaching up, both arms, stand, side bending, shoulder rolls, neck stretch, balance pose, sumo pose, hip circle, ragdoll, tree pose. The only one we didn't do, sometimes after you do all those, you lie down and you just kind of cool down lying down. Then there's some lying down poses, the dead bug pose. I can show you those sometime. Down at the bottom are some general instructions. Remember, listen to your body, accept your limits, keep an attitude of kindness toward yourself. More important than the effort to the poses is the attention you bring to the poses. Keep a non-judgmental acceptance of whatever you experience. And up at the top, it tells where I got these from UW Health Madison. And if you want guided practice, if you go to their website, the teacher will guide you through it. Easy yoga. The next one is a general handout that talks about different kinds of resources that you might want to access. Reading, and I'm just going to go through it a little bit with you. So the top one, Real Happiness, The Power of Meditation, is our textbook. The second one, Full Catastrophe Living by Jon Kabat-Zinn. Jon Kabat-Zinn, I may have mentioned, he's a big name in mindfulness. He started a practice called mindfulness-based stress reduction at the University of Massachusetts Medical School in the 70s. He started this as a class to which doctors referred people with stress-related medical conditions. It was an 8-week class, very structured. You had to commit to doing it regularly, and it works. So they've used it as research tool over these years, and this tells his story of doing that. This class is still being taught. This is a class I took in Madison a few years back. You can take it around different places in the country. I think the title is interesting, The Full Catastrophe.
Yeah.
He got that from the book and movie Zorba the Greek. And in this book, Zorba is kind of a happy-go-lucky guy that this kind of uptight Englishman meets. And Zorba says, oh yeah, I've done it all. I've got in shipwrecks, I've had several wives, and I've had good times and bad, the full catastrophe. And that's sort of what he says, life is like that. There's ups and downs, and we appreciate them. So, Jon Kabat-Zinn. And then the next one by Jon Kabat-Zinn, Wherever You Go, There You Are,
I
is,
read that book.
oh, isn't that wonderful?
Yeah, it was. It was so different. I never read a book like that before, but it was quite enlightening. In fact, I should probably get it and read it again. I'd probably get more out of it now.
I'm going to read it again. It's got the chapters are like 3 or 4 pages
Yeah.
long
It's
with little essays about
Mhm.
meditation
Yeah.
and very practical. So sometimes if I say, we've done our 8 weeks, anybody want to keep coming? And people say, yeah, let's keep coming for a while. We just read some of that and kind of talk about it. So it's a really good one. Boy, very good.
Thanks,
A
Pam.
Path with Heart by Jack Kornfield is a little bit more spiritual. It's about noticing the inner you and other people. It's very good. So Jack Kornfield, along with Sharon Salzberg and this other teacher that Sharon mentions in her book that she met at her retreats, Joseph Goldstein. The 3 of them founded the Insight Meditation Society back in the 70s. I have to brag a little bit. I had Joseph Goldstein as a teacher when I went to Boulder one summer. That was when he just got back from India, and shortly after that they started this program. And that's where I go for a week-long retreat. I'm going to do that this July again in Massachusetts. Tara Brach is in their heritage. She's in Washington, D.C., and she is a wonderful meditation teacher. And this book, Radical Acceptance, she's also a psychotherapist, so she's got a lot of in-depth stuff about how to handle your emotions. It's really good, Radical Acceptance. When Things Fall Apart by Pema Chodron. Pema Chodron is a Buddhist nun who lives or has a monastery in Nova Scotia or someplace, but she is very down to earth. She has these little essays about practices, but they're so meaningful. Like she starts off, I think it's this book where she says she was living in Santa Fe with her husband, and one day he says, I'm leaving. She says, what? He walks out, she throws a book at him, and she said, that opened my mind. I had to change right away. So stuff like that is in there, and she's a wonderful teacher. She has other books too. I remember my daughter Megan told me about this book a long time ago. Altered Traits, Richard Davidson and Daniel Goleman. Richard Davidson is at UW-Madison. He was one of the primary meditation researchers in the country. And this book is about the research that they've done that shows the benefits of meditation. Mindfulness in Plain English by Bhante Hanapola Gunatarata, something like that.
Yeah,
It is in plain English. He's got very practical advice, like if it hurts while you're meditating, what do you do? Stuff like that. Very good. The Miracle of Mindfulness by Thich Nhat Hanh. Thich Nhat Hanh is a respected meditation teacher. He just died a year ago. He was a Vietnamese Buddhist monk who got kicked out of Vietnam and has been around the world advocating for peace. First was one of the things. He got to be good friends with Martin Luther King. But he's a wonderful meditation teacher, very practical and very, very calm. It's like, yeah, like that. Then there's some websites and stuff. Tara Brach, like I said, she's a great teacher, and if you listen to her and watch her on some of her online talks, it's really good. And there's the UW again, some of their resources for some podcasts. Insight Timer app you can put on your phone, and I haven't had real good luck with this. Some people really like it. I got to experiment with it a little bit more, but you can use it as a timer. But it also, I guess, has some meditations on it. But the next one, Healthy Minds, I do recommend. It's a free app you can put on your smartphone. It's from University of Wisconsin. Richard Davidson and his team developed it. And it has short little talks, like 5 to 8 minute talks, and then guided meditations. And you can put on any length you want, from 5 minutes to an hour. And really nice. And it has lots of stuff in there, and it kind of goes through a series. So if you get into it, they do some surveys, like, where is your meditation at right now? And I think they're using it as a research tool, because they gather this data and see how it works for people. Healthy Minds. If you really want to learn a lot about this website, Palouse Mindfulness, I learned so much from this. I mentioned the mindfulness-based stress reduction class, the 8-week class you can take. They put this all online. It's free. And there's speakers, there's videos, there's reading materials. It would take you, I don't know, hours and hours to go do the whole thing, but you can pick out how much you want. And some of the things I learned in there are down at the bottom. Vidyamala Birch, I learned from that. She is a great speaker and teacher on pain. You are not your pain. Vidyamala Birch has severe chronic back pain. She had previous damage, then she fell off a horse, multiple surgeries. She's in a wheelchair, partially paralyzed, chronic pain, but she learned how to deal with it and control it. So she really speaks from knowledge. So that's great if you want to research, work on your pain. And this, You Are Not Your Pain, she works with this Danny Penman, and it's like an 8-week course to teach yourself about how to be mindful with your pain. And Buddha's Brain is a really nice description of how the brain changes and what structures change. If you really want to learn about the neural anatomy and physiology of meditation, that's good for that. I find, and many people find, it's helpful if part of your routine is you do some reading. It kind of is motivational, inspirational, and do 5 or 10 minutes of reading before you do your meditation. That can be very helpful. So that wherever you go, there you are is a good one for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. We will close with a brief sit, and I will see you again here next week. Looks like the snow hasn't started yet. And we sit, feel our dignified meditation posture, and breathe. Sitting and breathing, we notice the thoughts going by. We notice how we feel emotionally right now, and let that go by. We notice our body sitting here. And we notice each in and out breath. Thanks for your practice.
Well, thank you, thank you for all the info here, wow.
Should have started this years ago.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I'm proud of all of you.
Thank you, this is good. And I won't be here the next 2 weeks.
Okay,
We're leaving on vacation.
okay, well, enjoy.
Yeah,
Keep up your practice, and if you want and can, watch the videos.
yes.
Great. Thank you.
Night, ladies. Have a good weekend.
Have a great vacation.
Oh, yes, I'm looking forward to it.
Where you going?
New Mexico.
Great.
Stay safe. Yeah, we're doing a road trip.
Yeah.
And stuff, yeah.
Oh.
This was nice, thank you so much.
Welcome.
I just looked at the camera and I'm like, oh.
Thanks, Rebecca.
You're welcome. I just looked at the time and was like, oh, they should be getting ready to be wrapping up soon.
Yeah.